Hey guys, I'm back on another live. I'm gonna wait to see when Chris pops in. We are in a different location. It might be a little noisier than usual. I am in my New Jersey home. So, hi guys. I love when you guys join. Hello. So today we're gonna talk with another nest seekers. Another nest seekers agent in New Jersey who I've never formally met in person, but I'm super excited to chat with him today. So we're gonna wait to see where he is. I will text him right now and so we can get on with it. Hi guys. Our topic today, he is a marketing guru. So hey Paulina, give the baby a kiss. I really want to have him on here because I think a whole huge part of real estate is obviously marketing. So his quote that he always lives by, or mantra rather, is hustle, perseverance, and repeat. So we'll see how he is gonna tell us that it applies to his everyday marketing for his business out here. So it looks like he's here. Hold on guys.
Hey, I think I know what it was. I tried to do it with my computer, and I guess with Instagram, the computer's like, no,
yeah,
doesn't work.
It's even different with the iPad. I have you on my iPad, and it has to be like sideways. So I gave them a little background on you, but I think you would do the best at giving a background on yourself. I told them I told them your mantra: hustle, perseverance, repeat. How did you come up with that?
Funny story is actually first started after I saw, I don't know if you remember that movie with Tom Cruise, I think it was like Edge of Tomorrow or something like that, with Emily Blunt, where like they just kept on dying, he kept on dying, waking up, repeating, dying, waking up, repeating, like he was literally just figuring it all out from that. Yeah. And I always thought that was a pretty cool concept and everything, and then I just kind of, I was just at an open house one day and I was just kind of going after it. I was like, hustle, perseverance, repeat. That sounds amazing. And I eventually made it a hashtag.
I love it. Someone's asking, so what is it again? So it's hustle, perseverance, repeat. So that's...
Thanks, Steph.
Does Steph know that you live that way?
She does. She's actually from my, she used to be a former colleague of mine. She's with Nest Seekers in Summit.
Oh, very cool. Hello, fellow Nest Seeker. Hopefully I can have you on the show too.
I'm sorry. She's with KW. I'm sorry, not Nest Seekers.
Oh, KW. Okay.
Yeah, my old company. Sorry, it's been a long morning. I'm not even kidding. I had a long night yesterday because, ironically, I bought one of those really cheap beds in Wayfair when I first moved into my apartment, and it just broke out of nowhere.
No! Oh my goodness! That's so good.
So I was like, oh, that's a great way to have a night.
So I want to know, how did you get into real estate?
Funny story.
Or the why. The why might be more important.
Funny story is that what got me into real estate is that when I first, I was working in retail for a long time in New York City, and I was actually working at the T-Mobile store in 46 and 6, right by the Diamond District, for about 4 years. At that time, I was dating someone who was a graphic designer, which was a career that I was initially going after because I love art. I designed a lot of my own marketing materials. The videos that you see, like the video I just did the other day, I don't know if you saw that with Dame Drops and Impossible Kicks.
Yeah.
In New Jersey Short Hills Mall. I actually recorded that completely with my cell phone. And then I cut it and edited it as soon as I brought it back to my computer. Wow. So I'm very happy about that because I know a lot of times that agents that join teams specifically is, obviously it's a combination of, having access to resources, but for the most part it's also marketing, because, marketing itself is a whole different job. Right?
I mean,
it's a whole different job.
Yeah, Ryan Serhant kind of shows that as a perfect example in Nest Seekers. Well, when he was with Nest Seekers,
Yeah. I mean, Ryan is definitely the example of that for sure. And ironically, back to that story itself is, speaking of Ryan itself, what got me into real estate was, I was working in retail, and retail was one of those times that I'm not one of those people that likes to take off very often. I don't really go on a lot of vacations or anything like that. So it was just one of those situations where I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take a week off and just take a time just to rest and relax. Obviously, we can't do that in this business because, like, what kind of mayhem could hopefully happen. Exactly. You miss a date and property could just slip out of your face in a matter of a second, and that's the worst thing that can happen to you as a buyer's agent these days. And you don't want your client to be like, hey, what about that property?
Yeah. So do you remember your first deal that you ever had?
Real quick before we get into that, so let me just summarize that and just get that a little quicker. I got into it because of $1 Million in New York. I was actually at home and I turned on the television. I saw $1 Million to New York for the first time. I saw Ryan, Frederick, at that time was Luis. I was like, I think I could do this.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So you've actually met a lot of the cast, right?
I've met Ryan. I've been in the same area as I was at one of the filmings with Ryan, and I know Steve Gold popped up in there, but I didn't personally see Steve at that time.
Right.
But I met Ryan a few times. Ryan is definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Is he that vibrant all the time, like in real life?
He's very, very, I would say he's a lot more cerebral in real life, and he's a lot more like, he seems to be a little bit more to himself in some aspects of it, but at the same time, he's, when he talks to you and all stuff, he's not afraid to give you some incredible information and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
So he doesn't keep it like, secret.
No. His course, actually, I took his satellite Sirhan course, and it was honestly one of the best things I could have done for my career. And
I was considering doing that. Okay, that's good to know.
Well, there was you know what it was? I've always believed that, like, you can't be a direct replica of anyone. So, like, hypothetically, everyone wants to be the next Ryan Sirhan. But the thing is, like, you remember back in the day when they said who's going to be the next Michael Jordan, like, when you ask that question itself, my strongest belief is that no matter how many details and features I'm able to collect off of you and copy and replicate off of you, I would never be you, and there's just always things and differences in personalities. I use the Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan analogy all the time, just for the fact that, that was the closest carbon copy to what Michael Jordan was. However, we're two completely different people. One shot more threes, the other one shot more in the mid, and one was better on defense, the other one wasn't. You know what I mean? So, like, it's literally, no matter how many times that you try to replicate someone or try to be a direct image of that person itself, it's never exactly what it's going to be. It's never going to be an exact carbon copy, but at the same time, that's why we take little bits of everybody, like, that's why I'll take, a lot from, I've learned so much from Peggy, just by seeing her operate and what she works. Yeah, she's been a huge help to me, and just, like, having to talk to her and have conversations with her itself, she's just an incredible force of nature, for sure, no question about that.
I don't know if everyone knows, but Peggy Z is basically on $1 Million Beach House, which is the Hamptons offices, which I'm in. I'm on Jimmy's team, who's also on the show. So I don't know if everyone watches that show, so I just wanted to give him a little background on that. Peggy seems
You guys
really
definitely
cool.
gotta check it out. You guys definitely gotta check it out if you haven't. It was the number one. It was the number one rated unscripted show on Netflix for quite a while. And it's a great show. You got to see some of the most craziest houses in the Southamptons, and it was just an experience itself. It was a lot of fun.
I think they're getting another season.
Actually, I spoke to Jimmy a couple of times also. I spoke to Jimmy a couple of times. I spoke to JB a couple of times. I also spoke to Noel a couple of times as well. They're all great people to talk to, because they have so much information behind them and everything.
Okay. It
Oh,
looks
of course,
like
Michael.
we have
And
somebody
Michael Free, of course.
we have somebody that's talking to us saying that I know for a while. He's looking to rent out his house, and says, like, so it's a 2-in-1. So he wants to buy a house in Lenoka Harbor. So you might be able to help me with that, because I'm not a real estate agent in New Jersey, but you are. So
I can definitely help them.
yeah. So we can work on that together. I'll introduce you. Yeah.
We'll make it happen.
Kind of business
We'll make
already.
it
So do you remember your first deal?
My first deal, my first listing was, actually, my first deal was a rental in Melbourne. It was fun. We went to a couple of listings, a couple of different appointments and everything. It was pretty quick, but my first sale my first listing was 1311 Crescent Avenue, which is in Roselle, New Jersey, which it was only listed for, it was previously listed with two different agents and everything, and they couldn't get any kind of showings whatsoever. And, it was a trip because, the house needed a lot of work for sure. And we got lucky because we ended up finding the right person who was willing to actually do the work to finish the project.
Right.
At a retail cost, not an investor, anything of that nature itself. So it was a very, very interesting situation that we walked into. It was a deal that ended up taking over a year because we had to remove a tank. We had to fix the roof. We had to replace shingles. We had to do so much stuff just to get the house moving while we were under contract. So it did delay quite a bit. And on top of that, we had a couple of deals that went in and went out.
So did you get discouraged as your first deal? Were you like, this is a lot of work for,
Honestly, no, because I know it wasn't, obviously $183,000 house and all that stuff is not like the biggest commission check, that we can get. Right. No question about that. But the thing is, what I've gotten accustomed to over the years itself is that it's not about the commission check itself, but I prefer considering more about grabbing the listing and closing the deal. The money is the bonus to me. That's not what gets me up every single morning and everything. Sure, I love the money and everything. The money is great in this business. There's no question about that. But
it's kind of this is a people business. This is a people business.
This is a people business, and the satisfaction I have with changing someone's life. I always believe that the American dream is built off of the three things. Family, housing, money. And every piece of that puzzle itself directly affects everything, and housing is the most important asset of it, because without proper housing, then everything else starts to crumble behind you, and, knowing that I'm working with somebody to give them the most valuable asset that they can have, that moment that they can build their future with, that place, that room that they're going to potentially have their next child, their child with, their first child or the next child, whatever it is, that living room where they're going to make memories from that first birthday party or that 50th birthday party for dad, whatever it is, anything that we can utilize. Anything that we could create that memory with, it's what it's all about for me. And whatever comes after that, then hey,
then it's just a bonus. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly.
So what's the market like in New Jersey right now in your area? Is it like the Hamptons, where stuff is just kind of flying off the shelves, overpriced, over asking? Is it like that right now?
Hey, Michelina, that's definitely one of my, she's the top stager in Jersey and one of the top stagers in the entire country. So if you guys are ever looking to do some work in if you ever need a stager in the Hamptons, I'm pretty sure Michelina would love to take a trip out there.
Very cool.
How's it going, Denise? She's my California foodie person.
Aww, very cool.
So anyways, so we're interactive, guys. We're paying attention to all of you guys.
Yeah, we are.
All right, so the market over here has been absolutely crazy, honestly. I actually just saw a listing in South Orange that listed for $750,000 and sold for $1 million. So $250,000 over ask, which is completely mind blowing. Consistently, we've been selling over ask, if not very, very close to it. Obviously, pricing still plays a big part. Obviously, you can't come in overpriced, and if you came in overpriced, then you're going to just sell in the market. But given the fact that the people from New York City, there's a lot of people that was moving out of New York City to come into Jersey, especially during the COVID, the pandemic scenario itself. When mortgage rates took a dip, that's when it really, really changed the market itself, because mortgage rates started dropping below 3%. And that was just free money. Yeah. It just didn't, at that point, it made sense to buy a property because, in technicality, someone that was able to buy in 2019, someone that was able to buy a $300-something house was capable of buying at least a $400-something house in 2020, and 2021 is somewhere near in that same ballpark as well. So, and on top of that, sellers are finally waking up to that. Hey, if we put the house on the market right now, we could test it. We could simply just test the market, and if we get what we want, we get what we want. If not, then screw it. We don't have to even be on the market anymore, But at the same time, if they're able to get multiple, tens of thousands over ask.
Yep. Yeah, I've been thinking about, I have a co-op in Fort Lee, and I've been thinking about just seeing if I could get something way over than we normally get in this building, because then why not? I have my place out.
Especially in that market.
Yeah. So
Bergen's hot.
Bergen County's hot. I'm definitely considering it. So we'll see.
Bergen County's been been on fire lately for sure. The food is great over there. It's
Yeah.
extremely accessible to the city. So
Yep.
definitely one of those
Food
places
is
for sure.
phenomenal. It's great over here. I would miss it though. I have like an amazing view of the bridge and panoramic views of the city. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I would give it up, but I guess for the right price, I'd give it up. Just like you said.
Yeah, everything's negotiable at the right price. So.
Exactly. We all have a number.
Exactly.
So do you remember, what do you think is your like biggest hurdle as a realtor, day in and day out?
Honestly, because I don't care what anybody says. This is not a part-time job. You cannot call this a part-time job. You will not be successful if you ever consider this as a part-time job.
Nope. Right.
100%.
That's typically like
even if you have
90%
another
fail.
job.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The reason why I say that specifically is like this is not a judgment towards anyone that has a part-time job, because that's not what it is at all, or a full-time job somewhere else. This job is about communication. Like 75% of the time, if you're not in the office itself, at least you have access to your phone. Here's the thing, right? Even when we got 5 or 6 listings or whatever it is at a time, that same tension level that we're going to put towards that one client is equivalent to what will happen if we're working on another job at that time. It's all about time management, and if you're able to properly manage that time, then it's not a part-time job. I consider this as more of a lifestyle. That we so happen to get paid for, and we so happen to do great jobs whenever we do the jobs. But at the same time, it's a lifestyle. I love waking up to this every single morning. I wake up, hop onto the computer, check my emails, and just go through everything and all that. But I would say the biggest hurdle in this business for sure is self-discipline. Sometimes it can be very, very daunting. I'm pretty sure just as well as I do, deals fall apart sometimes, and sometimes the biggest kick in the butt imaginable. Yeah. I've had deals fall apart within like maybe a week or a couple of days before it's supposed to actually close, literally standing at the finish line and just literally crumbles at the finish line. Like, it happens, it's the gift and the curse of this business itself. But at the same time, keeping yourself motivated when all that happens. Yeah. It's definitely a hurdle. Sometimes when that happens, you might not want to wake up, as early the next day sometimes, but
kind of like bums. Trust me, I know it happens. I don't like the feeling. I wish you could just be like, I had one. That's it. That's all you get. But it's gonna happen a lot, I'm sure.
I've had a listing recently that went in and out like 5 different times or 6 different times. It was just crazy, just because just all left field stuff. It was just crazy,
Yeah. It's gonna happen. You're right. I think discipline is one of the biggest hurdles in this. Do you also find that you use things like, what do you use, since you're a marketing guru, what do you use for marketing for yourself that you find has the greatest return for your business?
I use I have all the programs from Adobe. I pay for the whole Premiere, for the whole creative server for Adobe, which is Premiere, which is the, for video editing and cutting. I use InDesign for postcards, and recently designed some new door hangers to come out. So it's easier because now, obviously marketing costs gets cut down substantially, and at the same time, I'm not waiting for anybody to get it to me. I get it immediately. We're ready to move it immediately. So, I have a new listing that's coming out in the market in Springfield next week. So what I'm going to be doing at that point is I'm going to take a whole bunch of door hangers and slap them on right when the sign comes up. So you automatically got a visual association to what the signs are for. And I love the Nest Secrets books that we utilize when it comes to our property books. Yeah. There's something that no other brokers are doing.
Yeah.
Maybe I probably shouldn't go down and give away our secrets like that, but
I know.
let's just say a book. Let's just say we have a book. We have a lot of books, so nobody's going to really know exactly what book I'm talking about. But
you have a lot of books, yeah. I'm like, wow, this is very sexy.
We have the media book recently that just came out. That's awesome. That media book that we just came out with, showing everything that we're on and everything with $1 Million Listing New York, which just came back on TV yesterday.
Yeah. I know.
I was watching it yesterday. I'm just completely blown away. I was like, I remember being here during a filming session. This is awesome. I was so scared I was going to get cut, but I don't know if I'm going to actually be on it at this point. I don't know if I am going to get cut, but when I saw the house, I was just like, oh, I remember that.
That's so cool. I'll be looking for you. That's awesome. Did you watch when it just aired last night?
It did.
It did?
On Bravo.
I have to DVR it because I did not see it. I should definitely be up on top of this. Thank you. So do you recommend things do you use Zillow or Bold Leads or anything like that, or no?
Zillow was good. I'm not actually using Zillow at this point. I actually do prefer organic leads over anything else and building relationships. The strongest way to build your network and build clients and everything is by going out there and just being in front of people and talking to people on a regular basis.
Right.
You know, Zillow is great in fact that it constantly puts people into your pipeline, but the thing is a lot of times they don't really filter out their leads.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of times you're dealing with some people that, you know, you're paying for leads that might not necessarily be qualified.
Yeah.
You know, whereas when you're actually dealing with an organic lead and you have the time to build them, they'll build that trust. I literally had a call one time off the Zillow and someone literally told me that it's your job to show me a property no matter what. And I'm like, if you're not pre-approved, then I don't know how I can help you. You know,
Yeah,
like,
exactly. That's crazy. You don't want to waste your time with someone that's not pre-approved and running around all over.
it's such a time-sensitive business and everything. Once again, to self-discipline and everything. And, you know, part of self-discipline is, you know, the biggest part of self-discipline is time management.
Yeah, it really is. Do you have a personal website that you use for your real estate where you drive all that traffic, or do you just use the Nest Seekers like main website?
I use my website, unlocknjhomes.com.
Okay.
As well as the Nest Seekers website as well. I like to say that I built my business off of not just marketing real estate itself, because I always believe in the mantra itself that real estate isn't just the houses that we sell, it's the neighborhood. You know, just like home isn't, you know, it's just what makes a home. Home is not just the physical place you sleep, but the location and the people.
Right.
You know, and you know, I'm blessed in the fact that I grew up, you know, I moved from New York City when I was pretty young, to Springfield, which is a very, very home-centric town where it wasn't that many kids. You know, it was only maybe like 100 something people per class, you know, whereas in New York City, it's like thousands per class.
Right.
You know, like.
Yeah, it's more family-oriented.
Exactly. Like even in the forums, everybody knows each other. You know, all the business owners know the neighbors, and you know, it's a great environment to be around. And you know, I've always said that you could take a beautiful house, build a beautiful house, and put it anywhere. You know, and it's true, especially nowadays. Everyone's flipping everything these days. They're making some nice houses in some of the craziest neighborhoods.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's not about, you know, it's about your location, about the people, about what the town has to offer, you know, and that's why I like to put a lot of focus on some of the businesses. You know, Westfield is one town over, has this amazing Italian bakery where they came, you know, the family moved in from Florence and they import all their flour. They use quinoa flour for a lot of stuff too, from Italy and stuff. And I think it's great giving back to these local businesses and everything also, because then not only are you doing a great service to them, you're also a part of their network now. And when things come down to it, if, you know, the one thing we can hope for, besides the fact that we're giving them that love, is that, hey, if one day they're looking for some help with real estate, we're the guys they're going to, you know, hopefully we're the guys they're going to call.
Yeah, exactly. What's the name of the bakery? So give them a shout out.
It's Farinolio.
Very cool name. I love it.
Yeah.
I gotta come out there and try it.
Let's do it. They make the best prosciutto sandwich imaginable.
Ooh, you're making me hungry.
With like fresh mozzarella, tomato, fresh basil, and they put it on this super airy focaccia bread and all stuff that they make, or one of those breads or whatever it is. It's so good. Or ciabatta bread.
We're supposed to have a cook-off, so, you know, when I come out there for the cook-off.
I'm so down for that. I have a rooftop, and what we could do is like we could use the rooftop and cook on the rooftop. That'd be a lot of fun.
That would be so
especially
much
when
fun.
my pool opens.
So another question I want to ask you, and I've like gone back and forth because I haven't done all my marketing materials. Do you use your photograph on your like business cards or your mailers, or do you don't?
I do. I originally didn't do it when I first moved into the Nest Seekers.
Okay.
Because like, you know, I'm typically one of those people that likes to like kind of just go with the flow from the very beginning, and then once I kind of figure out how that flow works, then I'll work around it to make it, you know, to make it look like it's, you know, to stand out. So now my most recent deck of cards that are coming out, I'm using my picture as not like, it's more of a water drop than actual the picture up front. So like I basically have it in the background of everything, whereas everything else is coming up front. So I use a transparency black to basically overlay it.
Very cool. Very cool. I love that. I just like always wonder, like, is that normal, or are you gonna, you know,
I like
as a
using
woman,
mailers.
like, what'd you say?
I like using it for mailers, specifically because like here's the thing, like for mailers you're targeting anyways, you know, so like you kind of know where you're sending those letters to. You might not know the people you're sending it to, but especially when you're targeting specific neighborhoods itself. I mean, I think, you know, I believe our faces are as much of a brand as our names are in this business itself. You know, especially I'll say especially in New Jersey where everyone likes to put their face on a billboard.
Yes, exactly. Jersey people love that.
Yeah, Jersey loves the billboards. Jersey loves the billboards.
Have you ever taken out a billboard for your business yet?
I haven't yet, honestly. I don't think it's necessary because you know what it is? The billboards, I think, are equivalent to what you're seeing on social media. You know, obviously billboards will stay there for a longer time, but, you know, in regards to the priority in your feeds. But the amount of time, if you think about it like this, right? You're typically driving by a billboard, you know, pretty quickly every single time, right? And you only have maybe a couple of seconds to capture that information. And most of the time, you're like, all right, I see the name. If anything, I'll Google it. By the time you get home, you might forget, you know? And here's the thing. Social media is the same rate. You know, you're driving by, when you're swiping your finger through Facebook, through Instagram, you're scrolling by that little ad itself a lot quicker, you know, just as quickly as someone's driving by a billboard. Here's the thing though. The difference is that someone else, when they drive by the billboard, they're gonna have to U-turn around just to come back around just to see that billboard again. And they're not gonna do that. Nobody does that. No. You know? However, you see a great ad on social media, you scroll back up.
You go back.
You know, you usually go back.
So do you use like Facebook ads for your business?
I love Facebook. I love Facebook and I love Facebook and LinkedIn specifically. LinkedIn has a very, very strong database with people that are, you know, working and a lot of potential qualified buyers and sellers. And also at the same time, when you use the Sales Navigator, you can target specific areas and you target specific businesses. So I think that's awesome. Okay.
So it's definitely worth it to invest in that.
It is, because if you're looking because they give you a certain amount of people that you can message in the month itself, but like let's just say example, like you're in an area and like, you know, there's a certain business in your town that you want to get really, really connected to, that you want to be like, all right, I want to be your go-to realtor for everything. That's how you do it. So, you know, Facebook is great to build network with friends and connecting with friends and connecting with their friends.
Right. So it's your sphere of influence. Everyone keeps telling me that you have to hit up and tell them that you're doing this because I'm brand new. So I'm learning from all of you guys. As I have you, I'm kind of being selfish. As I have all of you on here, obviously I want to promote you guys, but I'm trying to learn. It's so much to know every day. Like I just found out recently that you can't call yourself a realtor until you are part of the Realtor Association.
Yep.
Which I was like, how come no one told me this? Like you could get in some serious trouble. You know, you could get fined. Like, I went on and signed and, you know, put an application in right away. I paid them. I was like, don't need any trouble or fines and be on anyone's bad side. So I'm part of
that's why all the postcards have all those disclosures on it. The non-solicit disclosures, the equal housing disclosure, the realtor logo disclosure. You know, everything has to be there. You know, there's rules to everything. Like even with Jersey, we have to have the office number on everything. Yeah. We can put our cell phone down, but the office number has to be there no matter what.
Yeah. pretty much at least the entire, you know,
it should be.
Area.
It should be.
For sure. Someone said the agency. Yes, it's a union. Yeah, Steph. Okay. Yeah, I just joined. I'm part of the Hamptons, like North Fork division. And I mean, I paid them, so we'll see. Hopefully I can call myself a realtor. It's a lot easier than saying New York State salesperson, you know, real estate salesperson. I was like, that's exhausting. I just want to say I'm a realtor.
It's too much work.
Yeah, I was like, and it's too much to put on like any marketing material too.
It is, unfortunately.
And then do you know what benefits you get from being a part of that? Have you ever joined anything like that?
I mean, the biggest benefit of it for sure is, you know, it's that, you know, having that state, you know, that's, you know, that branding on us specifically, it just validates us as, you know, stronger professionals, you know, because we follow by specific sets of guidelines and rules that, you know, that we're legally tied to.
Like, how has it been navigating COVID with your business? Did you find that you have, you know, more business, less business? Did you find it more difficult?
There you go. That's the perfect way to say it. Stephanie said exactly what I was thinking. I have to follow a higher standard of code of ethics.
Okay.
And code of ethics.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So did you find that COVID helped you, hurt you in real estate? What happened in COVID in New Jersey with your real estate business?
Honestly, I think COVID benefited me just as much as like if you think about Zoom, obviously I'm not Zoom, but like in a sense that like all digital marketing in general have gone, have jumped up substantially, because of this specific scenario, because of COVID and everything, because, before, you didn't have to be as aggressive online. Like people knew that you were starting to get there, but then when COVID came, it actually forced us to be more aggressive online because we had no other choice. Zoom calls became like a weekly thing because like for the first couple of weeks, we had no idea what to do next.
Yeah.
The rates didn't drop, and, the rates took a little bit to drop. So in the very beginning, we're like, all right, do I go out for showings? How do I take out a person on a property? And at the same time, like, that's when we were so scared of COVID that we were treating it like it was crazy. It was like, oh my God, did you bring your friend over here? That friend must have been that person. It must have been him or her, like we were treating it like it was like the plague or something.
That's funny. I put on my website because of,
He must have forgot to shower, so there's COVID.
Yeah. I'm like, I put on my website like where you could do like a Zoom consultation because, people definitely want to know stuff or, possibly see stuff and not actually come out to the Hamptons or whatever. So people can just like make an appointment on my website and, get to meet via Zoom, which is pretty cool. I didn't even, think that was a possibility probably before COVID, on websites. But now it's a thing. That's an option on your website, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's actually an option on our MLS also now. We can actually select is it going to be an actual show or a virtual showing, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, in the very beginning, we were doing open houses on Zoom. So like we were just basically going on camera and basically letting everyone else see it through the video. I have no idea if anyone actually managed to make a sale off of that.
Right. I heard a few Hamptons realtors did. Some were like flying off the shelves. They said they didn't leave their backyard and they were making ridiculous amounts of money. Hanging out in your backyard, making millions.
Yeah, I know Peggy made a massive sale in the Hamptons during COVID also too, and it was substantially over ask. She had an article about that I saw. That was pretty insane, actually.
Yeah. There's some crazy stuff happening out there. I just saw a couple. I think they're like a celebrity couple. They flipped 5 different houses during this time in COVID. People are obviously getting like way over asking out there. There's like bidding wars on a lot of stuff. So
it's always bidding wars. It's always bidding wars right now. On top of that, especially for investment properties these days, like if you're working with an investor, it's a nightmare. Like trying to get a deal these days because like if a good deal's out there right now, it's gone in a matter of minutes. Like you can't shop online for them anymore. Because
it's already gone. I mean, it's even gone like for the rentals out in the Hamptons. I have to like call the owners. I have to and most of the time it's gone already. You might see it on our out east, but it's not accurate information. The database can't keep up with what's happening out there, which is pretty nuts. Did you find that in Jersey too?
Oh yeah, definitely. A lot of times that the properties online. I mean, it is easier online because what it is like for us specifically in Jersey because of MLS. I could easily just go in there and change everything pretty much instantly. So it's not as difficult, I would say. Right. Changing my property from active to under contract is literally a matter of like 5 seconds over here. So I just gotta log in and just change it. So I guess for us it's not as much. I mean, I would say still yes, it's definitely the case because agents are just a lot of times agents will just forget to do so or leave it on for whatever reason it is.
Yep.
Until it actually officially goes under contract. But once it goes under contract, it's pretty much changed pretty much immediately.
Right. Interesting.
I would say the only time there's a little delay, I would say is probably during the return review.
Okay, that makes sense. Have you sold more or less houses? If you want to,
I sold more. Oh, I definitely sold more.
Very nice.
I didn't manage to hit another record this time around in 2020 like I did in 2019, but I ended up closing at a much more higher volume, which something I'm really happy with.
Very cool.
Someone told me in the grapevine that I was closing 45% faster than the average agent in that market. So I don't know how true that was, but apparently it was based off of realestateStatistics.com or something like that.
Okay.
according to that detail itself, when she pulled up my numbers, I closed 45% faster than than the average agent in that market. So I was like, all right, so the pandemic definitely did something.
Wow, so crazy. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
There's one other question that I actually wanted to talk to you about. You have a team, right? A team that you created for yourself?
Right now it's myself and my assistant, and I'm looking on bringing on new buyers agents as well. I had a trial and error in the very beginning with a couple of people, and I realized that I had to do things a little bit differently. So I hired an assistant instead, just to help me manage my day-to-day operations. Once that is solidified itself, then I'm going to focus on building the team out again, because this time around I'm a lot more organized. I became a lot more systematic because of that. I've designed CRM systems that I can use personally to track everything that's going on. So this way, just things are substantially more organized for the next time around.
Okay, very cool. Well, it was really, really great talking to you. I hope I get to meet you in person. You got to come out to the Hamptons this summer. It's going to be an amazing summer.
I definitely would love to. Definitely hop onto that beach.
I'm holding you to that cook-off.
Hey, I'm down.
You said you could cook really good Italian. I'm holding you to that.
I definitely could. We will definitely do that. I made the other day. I made sausage and broccoli rabe the other day.
Oh wow, you like broccoli rabe? I love it.
Yeah, I made sausage and broccoli rabe. I made chicken over penne vodka.
Wow, very cool. I'm in. I'm sold. So I'm coming to have dinner very soon.
I've been like really getting aggressive with my barbecue lately because I live in the studio right now, and I live right next to around Kane University and everything.
Okay.
So there's like this rooftop that we have up here that we could grill on. We have the pool area that we could grill at. We have these little courtyards that we could grill at. It's pretty incredible because it's just little areas itself, and I find it to be amazing to just being up top. Cooking up top, and I got to meet so many people and everything too, and like it's our business is all about networking, and people that are renting are eventually going to turn to buyers for the most part. So
yes, exactly. Or you can turn them into buyers,
Exactly.
You gotta give them the preach. Don't waste your money on rent. You gotta buy.
But then they're gonna ask me, why am I renting right now?
We gotta convert you yourself. I'm like, we gotta make you some investment properties here.
I do want to buy investment property within, probably within the next year or the year after at the very latest, just because I think that was definitely the time. I wanted to get my business solidified before I got into that step. And the only reason why I'm renting right now is because, to be completely honest, I'm single. I don't really need much space. I don't really have the time. I barely have time to wash my dishes right now. So like, if you add on like mowing the lawn and doing all that other stuff, like I won't have time. Yeah, my business was suffer, unfortunately, at that point. But I literally designed my studio apartment to be like a workforce. Like, I have a double screen monitor. I have really computer powerful, nice computer. I got a really nice mic and, webcam and everything for everything that we need to do. So
nice. I gotta get the name of the mic. You gotta send me where you got it. Because I want to set up something like that too. Because I plan on doing like pretty much a live every week. I have a list of realtors that want to get on here, which is pretty cool. But I definitely want to have you back. I'm gonna check back in and see what's going on in the Jersey market with you and how you're doing. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Maybe like midsummer, we could do a little recap and see how you are. That would be so fun. Yeah. Yeah,
we'll definitely talk about that for sure. And hey, we do the cook-off. We're definitely going to film that too. So that's definitely going to be on.
We'll definitely do that. The cook-off might have to wait till fall for me because it's so nice out there. But
no, I know. Trust me. The summertime's when the Hamptons start to really, really amp up and everything too. So I totally get it. That's the time you want to be focused on that business itself. Just like same with me as well. The business over here is crazy during springtime to the summertime as well. So
I'm trying to get my name out there in a sea of amazing realtors. Like the quote is that you can spit and hit a realtor out there. So
well, I heard you mentioned that you became that you spoke to Sean Elliott a couple of times, who is one of our agents, who just mentioned that he has a $500 million listing.
I know, it's insane.
Wow. So crazy. Yeah, guys. So you guys wonder why I went to Nest Seekers? We get $500 million listings. That's why. It's while I haven't gotten one of those yet, or
me neither.
May or may not ever get one of those in my lifetime.
We can see it.
You know, but
I'm
at the same time, I love the association.
Yes, I mean it's pretty cool to see that people in the company are doing that. It's exciting. You know that it's possible because it's that close to home. So
I say that all the time too. I was like, oh my goodness, I started off this business watching, being inspired by $1 Million Listing New York. Next thing you know, I'm in a city. Like last year, I was on the scene with them. Like, I'm like, what? Like, how is this? It's like,
so cool.
it's just mind blowing to me. I was like, I literally landed where I wanted to be. And when I saw the ad for Nest Seekers and Summit, I was like, this is the company that really just inspired me. I knew automatically I wanted to be here, and it was no question. It was no question.
They're really a great company, and like when you meet all the cast. They're really nice and down to earth. It's not like they're not rude and they don't have any vibe about them, even though they are selling these like ridiculous homes and they're dealing with the uber rich and wealthy. They're very down to earth and super hardworking. Like they don't stop.
Mm-hmm. No, our entire company has been like that for me, honestly. I've definitely, I've spoken to Eddie a couple times, and I built a pretty decent relationship with Eddie. And Eddie's awesome. I've met him in person a couple of times. I go to the New York City office every once in a while, just to network and just to talk with agents in the city, because I like to change the environment every once in a while. I feel like when you change the environment, you change the energy a little bit, and then you get remotivated to move a little bit. So
That's a good note. I gotta try and do that. Is it weird when you go into another office? Like, is it strange? Are they looking at you like, who's this? Or they're pretty
Not really. I mean, I guess you know what it is for me. I'm pretty lucky because I built a pretty decent relationship with Eddie and Peggy. So whether I'm in the city and Peggy's in the city or Eddie's in the city or whatever it is, and it's pretty seamless at that point. And also, I went to the summit back in I would say early January of 2020.
Okay.
And I got to meet a lot of the agents at that time also. So it made things a lot easier. Also on filming sets, when I went to the couple of filming sets with $1 Million Listing in New York, a lot of our agents were there at that time as well, because we got the invites for those. So all of our people are just so down to earth and they're so super chill and everything. Like Keller Williams, nothing against Gary Keller, but the guy's all the way out in Texas.
Yeah.
It's
don't
not
get to see him a lot. He seems like very disjointed just because his way. Yeah.
I mean, his books, he's got an incredible mind. Gary Keller has got a great mind for sure, no question about that. But the thing is, having accessibility, Eddie is just on a whole different game. Like, we started this company. He started this company right after 9/11. He expanded during the recession. Like,
it's all over the world. It's international.
Yeah, we're global. We're in Korea. We're in the UK. We're in so many places. It's just insane. And what's even more amazing about that is that we actually have direct connections to that network. When I was working at PW, it was like it's a franchise broker, so you're paying that monthly fee, etc., plus the broker's fee, the realtor fee, the franchise fee, and then on top of that, like, you only have access to that circle, of that network itself. Like, I was part of KW and Summit, and my circle specifically was my KW circle within those couple of offices that we owned.
Right.
And whatever network I actually went out to organically build myself, where now I could literally reach pretty much the entire globe.
Yeah. I did reach the entire globe. I sent out a blast about this, live that I do, and got responses from all over. So
and it's great exposure for our clients, because if you think about it like this, right, people are moving. Like, most of the time when people buy properties, they don't typically move. Like, most of the time people don't buy properties within the same town. Like, it happens. Obviously there are cases, there's plenty of cases where it happens, but for the most part itself, it's typically people that are buying out of town.
Yep.
So how do we get in front of those people first? By advertising to them before they even realize it, before they even start looking for an agent out here. So by blasting the global market, automatically this person, Korea, or someone like yourself, this is how we connected. You send out a blast email, now we're connected now. Now if you have a buyer or seller in New Jersey, you automatically got someone that's going to take care of them. Just like, I could send someone out to the Hamptons at some point and you'll take care of them. Like, this is the whole benefit of this business and why this community and this company is so great, because of the network that we're constantly able to build, and it's constantly growing. And we got more shows coming out and everything too. We're gonna have more television stuff happening. Hopefully $1 Million Beach House season 2 comes out sometime. Fingers crossed. Let's hope that comes out soon, and maybe you'll pop up in there a couple of times out there on James' team.
Maybe that would be cool.
So,
they started they have like a media room that they built in Sag Harbor that they want us to use for little videos and snippets. I'm like, that's really cool, you know?
That is awesome. Oh, that is awesome. That was actually something I really, really wanted to do. I really wanted to start building an in-house studio program. That's actually why I started learning all this stuff also, why I started learning how to do the videos and just really getting adjusted with that, because I was like, if I could pick this up and I could just teach someone how to do parts of it, we could do some crazy stuff.
Yeah. You could, you know, that's how you separate yourself from this many realtors out there. There's over 2 million realtors in the U.S. I mean, how you have to learn how to, you know, pull yourself from the crowd and stand out, you know, the way Ryan did. And, you know, hopefully that we figure out how to do that too, you know?
Yeah, Ryan's story is just incredible. And like I said, back to self-discipline. My man wakes up at 4:30 in the morning every day, or 4 o'clock in the morning, gets into the gym at 4:30 in the morning every day. Like, it's just insane. Like, someone at that particular point in their career is still that humble, to the point that they're waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning every single day. He's literally still the first person in the office every single day. It's absolutely mind-blowing.
Humble and hungry, you know? That's another mantra. Humble and hungry. You know,
he always also says that people, about the network, the importance of network and everything. Also, the importance of friends. He actually mentioned on his course, how a lot of agents say that, the greatest gift that we can receive is a referral. A lot of agents like to tagline down to the bottom of their website or their emails and everything. And he's like telling us why he's against that. And it makes a lot of sense, because like the greatest thing that we could get from a client is a friend, because he says this line all the time. People hate being sold but love shopping with friends. And that's what we try to do. That's what our business is. Let's build, we build relationships, we build friendships, and then, these relationships last a lifetime. I'm going to be that realtor that their kids recommend in the future,
Yeah, there's a gentleman, Morabito, who's like one of the top realtors out there. He's very old, but he's still killing it, because he's like a rock star. You know that he loves what he does. He's not with Net Seekers, but he's like a monster out there, killing it. I think he's in his 80s and loves what he does. Yeah, he's older. I mean, I shouldn't speak for his age because I don't know specifically, but he's up there. For sure. I'm sure he's like, I'm not 80, okay, lady? He'd be mad if he's not 80. I don't know, but he's older.
Sean has an incredible operation going there too, so I don't know how old Sean is, but he definitely got a really, really crazy operation going on there for sure. And like his entire family is running it now. Zach is doing an incredible job at it also right now too. Like, I know I see his emails popping up all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy to be a part of this awesome company for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to have met you, and let's get back on a call like midsummer, and then a cook-off in fall.
Let's do it.
All right.
I'm excited.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Have a good one.
You too.